Should we get started?
Yeah,
Sound, camera,
raring to
action.
go.
Okay, let's get started. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Market Masti Weekly. I'm Chandra, and I'm really excited, to be here with my great friend and fellow investor Aditya. Uh, so basically, me and Aditya go a long way. We were colleagues. I mean, we started as a colleague in one of the big IT firms in India, and then over a period of time, we became very good friends, and we share a lot of common interests. So we keep in touch, and I would say we have, we share a lot of details and knowledge and insights with each other. So, yeah, I would like to talk about me or introduce myself a little bit. So, I have about 20 plus years of experience all into investment banking and capital markets. I started my career at Bombay Stock Exchange. And, over a period of time, I worked with some of the big bracket firms, some of the large investment banks, uh, especially in UK, US, and Europe. And so basically, Aditya and I have been capital markets and investment banking in this world, investment banking world for years. I mean, like I said, my journey started at BSc, and we have both built our careers around this stuff. So uh, I would let Aditya talk about himself and give a brief introduction. Yeah.
Yeah, so as you said, I also have about 20 plus years of experience, worked with several clients across US, UK, Canada. And since 2004, I have been actively investing in stock market. I initially started investing in Indian stock market. Later on, when I came to USA, I started investing in US market as well. But last couple of years, we saw that since U.S. capital market takes care of about 65% of global equity market cap, and Indian equity basically covers about 3 to 4% of the market. So as you and I had a discussion that we need to expand our coverage of equity market. So last couple of years, we have started venturing into some unknown markets. Some markets which are relatively unknown. Kind of we started investing in South American markets. We have equity exposure to Colombia. We have equity exposure to Brazil, and then we have some exposure to Turkey. So as we explore new markets, we also travel to those countries to see what the economic landscape is, and if we see any potential in it, then we try to take a position in it. We basically take baby steps of investing. We take small position in those markets, and as we see that the growth momentum is there, whether it is there or not there, then based on that we take the call and increase or reduce our position. So that's been our approach. Our goal is to make sure that we have 80 to 90% of global coverage at some point of time, and equity investing seems to be our passion, along so many other passions. And this one hobby in last 20 years has given us so much. It has given us FI in fire, and it has allowed us to travel to so many different countries just for scouting for investment opportunities, and enjoying life, exploring scenic beautiful places. Last year we were able to see cricket World Cup in West Indies, a place that we never thought that we would be able to visit, but just because of our investment passion and all that, whenever we make some outside games or something, we have this interesting philosophy that we should travel somewhere, someplace exotic, and make the most of it. So that basically keeps us motivated in this journey of investment, and looking forward to continue it and reach even greater heights from here on. And the goal here is to make sure that others who are or who will be watching this or listening us, they can also connect with us and probably gain some wisdom out of it, or probably they can provide us some feedback so that we also get to learn something from them, and eventually it happens to be a win-win for everyone. Over to you.
Yeah, so thank you for that introduction. And essentially, Aditya is asking our friends who are watching this to join us on this journey because instead of just doing things in the corner of the room, we believe in, sharing what we learned over the years with others, as well as, idea is to share this with others so that they also get benefited, right? And so in short, over time we have used our experience in both India and US markets to become fairly successful investors, so much so that we both are fire ready, like Aditya said. And for those who are not familiar with fire, basically it stand for financial independence, retire early concept, which is getting more and more popular. So and it also means that our investments have gone through uh, you know um, some of the rough patches and some of the crashes and even the bull runs, right? So uh, the longer the duration of your portfolio, I would say healthier it gets, provided you make the right decisions. So let me go to the next slide, which is a customary disclaimer that both of us are not SEBI registered investment advisors, and the content shared in this channel and videos is for purely for educational and entertainment purposes. So it should not be considered as a investment advice in any way, and you must or you should consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. So having gotten that out of our way, uh, you know, uh, Aditya, do you want to talk in this series, right? The market market Masti Weekly. So what are we trying to achieve or plan to do going ahead, like week after week? So if you can shed some light on that, that would be great.
So interestingly, I mean, see, market journey is very interesting sometimes, and sometimes, when we go through downturn and all that, it can add a lot of stress and pressure to people who are investing money, because they cannot, go through this period without any kind of, um, support from investment advisors and all that. And sometimes what happens, if they listen into others who are going through the journey, they get the support, emotional support, that they don't have to sell, or sell off everything at wrong point of time. So in the market, timing in the market is not important here. We have to make sure that we spend enough time in the market so that we can come out as winners. So the goal of this thing is that we can discuss what is happening, what has happened in the past week, what are going to be the triggers for the next week, so that we have some sort of idea about equity markets, we have some sort of idea about the overall economy, especially from Indian perspective and from the global economy perspective, so that we can make right informed decisions, so that we don't end up making a lot of bad decisions. In investment, we have to make sure that there are certain to-do lists, some things that every investor should make. So we will discuss those items, like what people have to do. And there is also another thing, that is a not to-do list. I mean, some things that people and common investors should not do if they really want to create generational wealth. So we'll try to touch upon those issues and those things, so that and we will also discuss some of the lessons that we have acquired over our 22 years of investment journey. And sometimes, we know we have spotted multi-baggers, and sometimes, we ended up selling those multi-baggers too early. And sometimes we made some mistakes wherein we did not put stop loss and all that, and we ended up, uh, you know, uh, making losses on some of the investments. So not all trades will not be winners, but the thing is that we will figure out as we go. And as investors spend more and more decades in investment market, capital market, they become smarter and smarter. So we are not saying that we are the smartest people in investment world. We are also learning it. Our journey is about 22 years long, and we follow a lot of investors around the world who have spent like 5, 6, 7 decades in the market. And we are also trying to get to, that level at some point of time. So we would try to share our wisdom, our lessons that we have learned, and hopefully engage with the audience who can also help us enrich our experience, and we can contribute to each other in a meaningful way.
Yeah, so absolutely. So just to add to what you said already, right, regarding why this show. For years, Aditya and I have had these ongoing chats about our investments, our portfolios, and latest headlines or events in both India and US markets. So we thought that, or we often discuss that, our investment journey doesn't have to be, or anyone's investment journey for that matter, doesn't have to be super serious or straight faced at all times. So our travels, we have been around 10 countries together in the last 2 years alone, have taught us that life is meant to be enjoyed and cherished. So you should be able to focus on your hobbies and interests, especially when the markets are just moving sideways. So we want to bring a little bit of that musty or fun to the world of investing.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally agree, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be breaking down the most important stories that moved the markets. We'll cover the key economic data, major trends, and what it all means for you. And we'll also share the some type of discussions we have on our own time. So you will get an honest and straightforward take on what's happening. So I think that's about us, the channel, and why we are starting this weekly series, etc. So I think it's time to talk about, or go ahead with the uh, last week's last week's event and dwell upon them, and as well as subsequently then we can talk about the events in the next week as well.
So basically, last week what happened? Uh, Nifty was initially, initial few days, it rallied quite a bit, and we saw some profit booking on Friday. So overall, the market was up about 1.5%, and then I think because of Friday's fall, overall gain was like 0.3% or something. And we saw that small and mid cap shares performed really well. And off late, we have seen that so a lot of IPOs are coming, so some liquidity is going there also. We recently saw that NSDL IPO performed quite well, and we had 2, 3 other IPOs which came out, and I think allotment has already happened for them. Patel Retail and Bikram Solar. So I think they would be listing next week. And uh, financial sectors, I think they will do well, uh, and we know that the next couple of months are filled with a lot of festivals and all that. So there would be a lot of retail buying and all that. So probably the consumption would drive some of those, FMCGs and sector related stocks and all that. So that's something that's my take on it. Please feel free to add any more points.
Yeah, what I noticed that irrespective of the market falling, let's say 200 plus points in terms of Nifty on Friday, I saw that the portfolio didn't take the hit to that extent. So that also means probably the index stocks, let's say Nifty in this case, getting more hammering than the other stocks, and let's say that I hold or you hold in your portfolio. So they are probably doing well, better than the Nifty stocks, and that's what one of the points on the slide says, that छोटे और मझोले शेरों का जलवा. सो एक्चुअली हमें ये भी बताना चाहिए कि हम इस शो को, इस सीरीज़ को हिंदी और इंग्लिश मिक्स रखना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि हमारा जो ऑडियंस है वो उसी तरह का है जो कुछ देश के बाहर है, या कुछ जो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देम आर इन इंडिया बट देश के बाहर भी है, तो सारे लोग इसे समझ सके. सो आप देख भी सकते हैं कि जैसे स्लाइड्स मैंने हिंदी में बनाई है ताकि ज़्यादा लोगों को समझ में आए, और हिंदी में बात करना हम दोनों को भी बहुत अच्छा लगता है क्योंकि एक अपनापन सा है। सो है व्हाट विल हैपन इन द नेक्स्ट वीक।
अगले वीक के लिए अगर देखें हम, तो बेसिकली एक रेजिस्टेंस है 25,150 के आसपास। तो वहां से मार्केट जनरली क्या होता है कि अगर उस रेजिस्टेंस को क्रॉस करेगा तो फिर हम तेजी देख सकते हैं। अदरवाइज अभी भी क्या हुआ है कि 25,125 के से टच करने के बाद मार्केट थोड़ा सा वापस नीचे गिर गया है। तो इसीलिए फ्राइडे को थोड़ी सी प्रॉफिट बुकिंग आई। अगर नेक्स्ट वीक जैसे कि हमारा एडिशनल ट्रैफिक का सॉरी एडिशनल टैरिफ का डिसीजन भी आएगा। ट्रंप ने जो एडिशनल टैरिफ 25% का लगाने का बोला है, इसलिए कि हम रशिया से ऑयल इंपोर्ट करते हैं। अगर वो लग जाता है तो थोड़ा सा मार्केट के लिए सेंटीमेंट नेगेटिव होगा, मार्केट थोड़ा सा नीचे आ सकता है। 24,400 के पास अच्छा खासा सपोर्ट है। तो मार्केट माइट बी रेंज बाउंड अगर कोई अच्छा न्यूज नहीं आता है। अदरवाइज क्या होगा कि नेक्स्ट क्वार्टर से जब हम देखेंगे कि ये फेस्टिव सीजन वगैरह में थोड़ा कंज्यूमर डिमांड बढ़ेगा और अर्निंग रिजल्ट्स वगैरह अच्छे आएंगे तो मार्केट वहां से अच्छी तेजी दिखाएगा। तो अभी मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा सा रेंज बाउंड हो सकता है और मार्केट ये अपने सपोर्ट और रेजिस्टेंस के बीच में ही अप एंड डाउन करेगा। ये मेरा टेक है। और अगले हफ्ते के लिए अगर हम यूएस मार्केट में नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, तो बेसिकली यूएस मार्केट में लास्ट वीक क्या हुआ। सो लास्ट वीक यूएस मार्केट first few days they were kind of jittery, they were going down, but towards the end on Friday we saw a very good rally and markets ended up S&P 500 went up like 96 points, which is like almost 1.5%. Similarly, Dow and Nasdaq 100 also moved up about the same range, 1 to 1.5 percentage. That happened. The trigger was Powell's speech. So basically मैं थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड देना चाहूंगी। जेरेमी पावेल कौन है और क्या करते हैं। तो जेरेमी पावेल बेसिकली यूएस फेड के चेयरमैन है और वो बेसिकली फेडरल ओपन मार्केट कमेटी को चेयर करते हैं। तो और फेडरल ओपन मार्केट कमेटी एक ऐसी टीम है जो यूएस की मॉनेटरी पॉलिसीज डिसाइड करती है। वो बेसिकली इन्फ्लेशन का डेटा देखते हैं, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का डेटा देखते हैं और दूसरे अलग इकोनॉमिक पैरामीटर्स को देखते हैं और उसके बेसिस में हर 6 और 7 हफ्ते में डेटा रिव्यू करते हैं एक मीटिंग में। और उस मीटिंग से वो आउटलुक डिसाइड करते हैं कि इंटरेस्ट रेट्स को स्टेडी रखना है, कोई चेंज नहीं करना है, या फिर इंटरेस्ट रेट को बढ़ाना है या घटाना है। इंटरेस्ट रेट को बढ़ाने से क्या होता है कि हम मार्केट में लिक्विडिटी को कम कर सकते हैं, हम मार्केट से लिक्विडिटी सक कर सकते हैं। और इंटरेस्ट रेट को घटाने से क्या होता है कि मार्केट में लिक्विडिटी ज्यादा आ जाती है। तो स्टॉक मार्केट बेसिकली likes whenever there are interest rate cuts happening. Why? The reason is that, basically what happens, there are companies, they have debts and they use debts and leverage to, expand into new markets or do the capex and some other things. So जब interest rate कम होते हैं तो उनका इंटरेस्ट का डेट का बर्डन कम हो जाता है। उस चक्कर में क्या हो जाता है, उनका ऑपरेटिंग लेवरेज इंप्रूव हो जाता है, बढ़ जाता है। तो क्या होता है कि कंपनीज की अर्निंग प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी एबिटा लेवल पर काफी इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है। तो इसलिए हम क्या देखते हैं कि जब भी मार्केट्स में इंटरेस्ट रेट कट का साइकिल होता है तो उस टाइम पर स्टॉक मार्केट काफी अच्छा परफॉर्म करता है। तो अभी यही हम इस साइकिल के बीच में हैं। इंटरेस्ट रेट कट्स लास्ट ईयर से शुरू हो गए थे और अभी क्या है, इन्फ्लेशन डेटा थोड़ा सा बीच में बेकार आया था। उसके कारण क्या हो रहा था कि फेड चेयरमैन जेरेमी पावेल ने कहा कि हम इंटरेस्ट रेट नहीं घटाएंगे और प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप काफी टाइम से प्रेशराइज कर रहे हैं जेरेमी पावेल को कि आपको इंटरेस्ट रेट घटाना है, क्योंकि वो इकोनॉमी को टैरिफ का इम्पैक्ट भी है तो उसको नलीफाई करने के लिए वो चाहते हैं कि एटलीस्ट स्टॉक मार्केट अच्छा परफॉर्म करे ताकि यूएस पॉपुलेशन के लिए अच्छा रहे। और वो दूसरा ऐसा भी है कि यूएस के पास $35 ट्रिलियन का डेट है। तो अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होगा तो उनको जो डेट रीफाइनेंस करना है वो यूएस इकोनॉमी को आसानी से सस्ते में डेट मिल जाएगा। तो ये उनका गोल है। और जेरेमी पावेल क्या है कि इनका इनका एक इंटरेस्टिंग इंसाइट क्या है कि नेक्स्ट ईयर इनका टर्म खत्म होने वाला है। ये 2 टर्म से यूएस फेड के चेयरमैन रहे हैं। इवन इनको डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने ही अपने फर्स्ट कार्यकाल में अपॉइंट किया था 2018 में, मई में। तो इनका पहला कार्यकाल एंड हुआ 2022 में, मई में। और अभी ये अगला कार्यकाल एंड होने वाला है 12 मई 2026 को। तो अभी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज क्या है, अभी अगर आप फेड वॉच लिस्ट देखें तो फेड वॉच लिस्ट क्या बताता है कि इंटरेस्ट रेट कट होने की पॉसिबिलिटी या प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी है। तो अभी 0.25% रेट कट की प्रोबेबिलिटी है 75%, और ये है सितंबर मीटिंग के लिए। और 0.5% इंटरेस्ट रेट कट की प्रोबेबिलिटी है 25%। अब since it's a game of probability, so anything can happen, but chances are that we will see at least one rate cut happening in September. Now another could be expected sometime in December, and the another one, third one, is expected in either in January or March. Since this is just kind of expectation, how market is expecting, things might change based on the new minutes of meeting or Jeremy Powell's next speech after subsequent meetings and all that. So we will come to know later on, but this gives us a trend that we are in a phase where interest rates are going to decline further in future. So markets, US markets at least, will perform better, and S&P 500, Dow, and these could make new highs in next 6 to 9 months. Now, another thing I would like to add is that what happens if Jeremy Powell puts his foot down and says that I'm not going to cut rates. So since his tenure is coming to an end in May next year, right? And Donald Trump is going to appoint a new Fed chairman. So if we don't see 3 rate cuts happening in next 9 months, then we will see aggressive rate cuts happening when the new Fed chairman joins. Because Trump would appoint somebody who's actually on the same page with him. So that's the thing. If we don't see rally in next 9 months, then definitely after that, we'll see significant rally happening. So I see for next 18 months or so, I see very good, you know, uh, market traction happening in S&P 500, Nasdaq 100. These would be probably trading higher and higher. There might be some pullbacks. Pullbacks would happen because of some other things. Market is like supreme. It always, surprises us with some news, something else. Like, for example, recently, Sam Altman, who's the CEO of OpenAI, right? For past 1 year, we have been seeing that there is a huge AI trade happening. Like, companies are touting AI as good as new invention like internet and all that, right? Some of those radical technologies. So we have seen that common people have started using it. Even OpenAI has started monetizing it. They have a lot of users from India. They have rolled out so many plans in India, so that they can use premium plans and acquire more and more users. But now the thing is that a lot of companies have made so much and large investments in AI. Now the thing is that ROI, return on investment, उसका रिटर्न कब आएगा इसकी किसी को गारंटी नहीं है। और वो रिटर्न के पर्सपेक्टिव से कई कई बड़े लीडर्स जो हैं उन्होंने एआई को थोड़ा डाउटफुल बताया है कि मतलब हम शायद बबल फेज में घुस रहे हैं या फिर बबल फेज में ऑलरेडी आ चुके हैं। तो ये हमें टाइम पे पता चलेगा कुछ आने वाले समय में कि हम मतलब एआई का ट्रेड और कंटिन्यू होता है या नहीं होता है। बट इसी का रीजन था कि अभी हमने कुछ दिन पहले देखा, लास्ट वीक देखा कि टेक्नोलॉजी स्टॉक से काफी प्रॉफिट बुकिंग आई, और वो पैसा बेसिकली सेक्टोरल चर्न था, वो टेक्नोलॉजी स्टॉक से निकल के कहीं ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेसेस और स्टॉक्स में की तरफ गया। तो अभी हम देखेंगे आगे क्या होता है। वी विल कीप एन आई ऑन दैट and we'll see whether AI continues to be as charming as it has been last 365 days or not. We'll figure it out.
सो मेरे दो
And
दो सवाल है। पहला ये कि जो सो कॉल्ड मैक्स सेवन है, मैग्निफिसेंट सेवन, द बिग टेक स्टॉक्स, राइट, डू यू थिंक दैट रैली इज ओवर एंड they are going to kind of go down from here, or I mean the
so
Mhm.
so within Max 7 also, I see all those 7 good stocks. I mean, they are fabulous companies, and they have a huge impact that they are making to everybody, right, across the world. Now the thing is that they are also at different phases in their stock
Hmm.
journey.
Yeah.
For example, if you look at some stocks like Nvidia. Nvidia is right now the leader, right? To my knowledge, the thing is that Nvidia stock has been doing well for past so many years. If you look at that company makes like 60 to 70%. Its EBITDA profit margin is like 60 to 70%, right? That's amazing. I mean, like if you look at that margin, that kind of margin, 60-70% profit is kind of unheard of, right? And that company is still surviving. However, the margin is dwindling a bit, a few
Hmm.
percentages per points, but is still that shows that the market demand for AI chips and all that is huge, right? So that is one company that will continue to do well, right? And then if you look at Tesla company is running into headwinds. So that stock is highly volatile, but for next 18 months or so, I see that that company might face some problems.
Hmm.
But since that company has a lot of other innovations in the
Hmm.
offering, or
Yeah.
some are in the pipeline, like they are also working on robots and all that. And Elon Musk says that
They got
in
they got
next
permission in India to start Starlink, right? So yeah.
yeah. So they have so many things happening. So I won't be surprised that that company comes back with a bang, because they say that in 5 to 10 years, every household in US will have a robot as an assistant. So that's a quite bold statement. And since Elon Musk is known for coming up with new radical ideas, so, and he has basically called Tesla as AI company, not just a car company. And they have robo taxi and so many other initiatives underway. So something good will happen. And if you look at other Max 7 like Facebook, right? Facebook is also heavily investing into AI. Like they are creating a huge team, and Mark Zuckerberg is like kind of a very dynamic leader. So what he is doing is, instead of starting from scratch, he has created a huge team of AI experts. He's paying like 100 million, $200 million, and he's poaching experts and AI experts from other companies and all that. So so that he ends up with a a list team for AI. And with that kind of mindset, and investments are not a problem for his company. His company has a huge cash pile and financial muscle to pull it off. So I think Meta, Facebook is going to be one of the leaders in AI sector. Uh, and if you look at two other names like Apple and Amazon, and in fact Google as well, or Alphabet that people call it. So right now, Alphabet and Amazon are kind of they haven't given very good returns in last 1 year or so. So I think they are more attractively valued at this point of time, and they can give a very good return in next 1 2 years. I mean, that's what it seems like based on the you know if I hear different analysts and others talking about these companies. So they say that Amazon and Alphabet seem like poised for growth from here, and they look very attractive at this point of time. So
Right.
that's my take on uh, these Max 7 stock. I mean, this
Hmm.
is not a buy sell recommendation. It's just
Yeah.
that we
Of
are
course.
sharing our insights for everyone.
Yeah. So another question is with regard to the sorry, with regard to the Trump tariffs, right? So uh, sitting in US, you're in Boston. So uh, ट्रम्प के जो टैरिफ इंडिया पे जो अनाउंस किया है कि जो 27 तारीख से एप्लीकेबल
Hmm.
होंगे, डू यू सी एनी इम्पैक्ट whatsoever on US markets because of that, either
So
either in the market sentiment or otherwise? So yeah, I mean, we all know that what is the impact on India, but is there
yeah,
any impact on US?
तो टैरिफ्स का इम्पैक्ट तो यूएस पे होगा इवेंचुअली। क्या है टैरिफ, क्या है कि जो भी गुड्स जो इंपोर्ट हो रहे हैं यूएस में, उसमें एक्स्ट्रा कॉस्ट ऐड कर दी जाएगी, 25%, 30%, वट एवर। एंड इवेंचुअली ये पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? जैसे इंडिया कोई अगर सामान गुड्स अगर एक्सपोर्ट करता है यूएस को, अगर 100 रुपए की चीज 125 में बेचनी पड़े, राइट, तो क्या होगा, उसके दो इम्पैक्ट हैं कि एक उसकी डिमांड कम हो जाएगी प्रोडक्ट की यूएस में, और दूसरा क्या है कि इंडियन कंपनीज जो एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं वो अपने पॉकेट से तो ये कॉस्ट देंगे नहीं, वो क्या करेंगे, प्राइजेस को इंक्रीज कर देंगे। तो जैसे यूएस के कंज्यूमर्स ने अगर वो सामान कम कर दिया, पहले अगर 10 कस्टमर्स थे और 10 के बाद अब केवल 5 कस्टमर्स बचे हैं, तो उससे क्या होगा, डिमांड कम होगा, बट जो 5 कस्टमर्स हैं दे विल हैव टू पे हायर प्राइस फॉर दैट. So the issue here is that eventually the inflation will affect Americans, and this increased cost will be funded by American consumers.
Mm-hmm. ओके सो आई थिंक मुझे लगता है कि हमने यूएस मार्केट के अपडेट काफ़ी अच्छे तरह से कवर किए हैं, तो
Hmm.
आई थिंक बैक टू द डोमेस्टिक मार्केट्स, राइट, एंड देन वी कैन briefly talk about what's going to happen in US markets as well. So as far as domestic market or India markets are concerned, so I thought some of these factors are going to make an impact. It's a well-known fact. I mean, I think enough is already discussed about Trump tariff, and if at all it's going to be really made effective from 27th or not. And I mean, कुछ जादू हो जाए और इधर वो कैंसिल हो जाए या फिर
Hmm.
या फिर हो
अभी
सकता
वो
है कि बढ़ भी सकते हैं, क्योंकि मैंने कुछ न्यूज़ आर्टिकल पढ़े कि जिसमें ट्रम्प ने शायद ये भी कहा है कि वो not specifically India, but he might just raise those tariffs on, because I think what ट्रम्प साहब जो करना चाहते हैं वो किसी भी तरह से उनको यूक्रेन और रशिया का वॉर ख़त्म करना है, तो ही इज़ मेकिंग यूज़ ऑफ ऑल द लीवर्स एट हिज डिस्पोजल। तो
करेक्ट करेक्ट या
वो एक हुआ,
ये
फिर
समय
हाँ हाँ
बताएगा,
करेक्ट, समय
ये
बताएगा,
समय ही
क्योंकि
बताएगा कि
इवॉल्विंग
आगे।
है। और आई थिंक वी ऑलरेडी, यू एंड मी, वन ऑन वन टॉक्ड अबाउट इट, दैट let's say the tariffs go higher than 50%, right? So I think it doesn't change much for India, because beyond 50%,
हाँ,
whether it's 75, 80, 100, I think it's all the same, right? Because
एग्जैक्टली
yeah, because the US
एग्जैक्टली
I,
इट मेक्स,
huh,
it
in
makes Indian products, non-competitive, right?
correct.
Uncompetitive. So beyond 50% tariff, Indian exporters won't be able to sell their goods in America. I
Hmm.
mean, barring certain things like pharmaceutical products and few other exceptions which don't have that kind of tariff because American consumers heavily rely on them. But some sectors like textile, gems and jewelry, if we have to have 50% of tariff, then beyond that it won't make any difference because
Right,
our products would be totally uncompetitive and they would not be in demand in American market.
right. और हमारा बिल्कुल भी जो स्टॉक फेवरेट नहीं है रिलायंस, फॉर फॉर सो मेनी रीजंस ऑफ कोर्स। उसका एजीएम है अगले वीक, और देखने वाली बात ये होगी कि अंबानी जी कुछ नया कुछ करने वाले हैं, और इट्स ऑल ऑल द सेम, और जस्ट द रिचुअल,
हाँ,
राइट।
कुछ नया, कुछ ऐसा ब्लॉकबस्टर अनाउंसमेंट हो जिससे कुछ नेक्स्ट 1 साल का कुछ आइडिया मिले कि रिलायंस कुछ बड़ा तोड़ फोड़ करने वाली है, जिससे स्टॉक थोड़ा भाग जाए, क्योंकि ये एक हैवी वेट है निफ्टी का। तो जब तक ये तेजी से नहीं भागेगा तो निफ्टी भी एक नए लेवल हिट नहीं कर पाएगा। अगर निफ्टी को 26,277 का हाई क्रॉस करना है, so it will need a lot of help from Bank Nifty. It will need a lot of help from Reliance, HDFC.
Right. Another major factor to look forward is the GDP report card, right, which is, I believe, is going to be published on 27th August. Uh, if the numbers are good, then I think markets will respond accordingly. Otherwise, uh,
Yeah,
uh, there could be jitters, right, in the market regarding the overall state of economy. What do you say?
correct. Yeah, whenever those numbers are coming in, people have some kind of jitteriness a few days before the results come out because traders like to take positions accordingly, right? So they want to make sure that they are hedged. Sometimes they want to uh, play the speculative trade. So yeah, market could be jittery couple of days before numbers, and after numbers it may settle down. So next week we have a number of things happening. So let's watch out, what happens, and then that will set the tone.
या और फिर जो नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का जो इंडेक्स कमेटी होता है उसने कुछ चेंजेस ऑलरेडी किए हैं, डिसाइड किया है कुछ चेंजेस टू ब्रिंग इन सम स्टॉक्स एंड एज अ रिजल्ट सम ऑफ द स्टॉक्स हैज़ टू गो आउट. सो इंडिगो और इंटरग्लोब एविएशन, राइट, it will be part of the nifty. So मुझे लगता है कि any stock that is getting included in the nifty, they get more attention and money, I mean like more funds or more investors, because some of the passive funds, right, index funds, they are tracking the nifty, especially tracking nifty. They have to increase their investment to that extent to in that stock, right? So
Yeah,
I think it's a positive news for Indigo
yeah,
Airlines.
it's definitely a positive news because Indigo will get more coverage. So Indigo, I think before this one, it was part of Next 50, if I remember it correctly. So there could be some outflows from those kind of mid cap funds, something like that. Now it will be probably this large cap Nifty index. So it will definitely see some inflows like MSCI indexes and all that. There are so many different ETFs. So that money will automatically flow into Indigo. And I think the other company is Max Healthcare, which is coming into uh, Nifty 50 ETF. So
Right.
that
Yeah.
would be good for those two companies.
Yep. So अब ये ऑलरेडी न्यूज़ डिस्काउंट हो चुका है और ट्रेडर्स वगैरह ने पोजीशन लिया है, या फिर
हाँ, तो इसका इंटरेस्टिंग क्या है कि देखो क्या है, ये न्यूज डिस्काउंट हो गया होगा या, बट क्या है कि एमएससीआई वगैरह का पोर्टफोलियो रेजिंग होता है एक सर्टेन डेट पे. तो वो अभी हो सकता है कि 2-3 हफ्ते बाद हो, उसका कुछ डेट आएगा. तो उसके हिसाब से उस दिन के आसपास थोड़ा सा इनफ्लोस एक्स्ट्रा आ सकते हैं. तो वहां थोड़ा सा 1-2% यूजली मूव मैंने देखा है इस टाइप की सिचुएशंस में, कि जब वो एमएससीआई वगैरह अपने पोर्टफोलियो को रीबैलेंस करते हैं, वेटेज बढ़ाते हैं, तो उस टाइम पे हम थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा बाइंग देखते हैं, तो वहां थोड़ा सा अप मूव दिखता है.
correct, there is, I mean, the no income tax until 12 lakh rupees came into effect from 1st April, and also मोदी जी ने जो रेड फोर्ट से जो जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स की घोषणा की है, तो उसके चलते हुए कंजम्पशन को बूस्ट मिलेगा. और इसीलिए हमने देखा भी कि पिछले हफ्ते कंजम्पशन वाले स्टॉक्स काफ़ी अच्छा कर रहे थे, राइट. और उस सब में और अब फेस्टिवल सीज़न का भी तड़का लगेगा कि जिसमें स्टार्टिंग विद द गणेश चतुर्थी, विच इज़ अ बिग फेस्टिवल इन महाराष्ट्र, मुंबई, पुणे, एट्सेट्रा. तो फेस्टिव सीज़न आ रहा है, तो आई थिंक कंपनीज विल bring their offers and try to make or cash in on the festive mood, right? So that may give good results for those companies.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, festive seasons are generally good for the market, especially in India. So I hope the trend will continue.
Yeah, right. So let's wrap up the the what's going to affect, what are the factors for the next week for the, we already finished with India and
Yeah,
then the US markets.
yeah. So again, some numbers are expected like PC inflation data. So uh, this number and GDP consumer confidence data, these data will actually seal the deal for September rate cut, because September rate cut meeting is going to happen on September 17th. So we still have about 24 days from here. So these dates, this kind of data will help FOMC committee to decide whether the rate cut will actually happen or not. So as we know that the current probability is 75% for 0.25% rate cut, but this number, I think traders and investors would be watching carefully. And corporate earnings, like, we know that, some of the retailers did not do well. But this week, on 27th, we have Nvidia, which is going to announce its results after market hours on 27th. So everybody would be watching it closely, because Nvidia is a kind of bellwether of this sector, AI sector, and all that. And as far as we have seen that other technology companies have mentioned in their you know con calls and all that, they have been purchasing chips and all that. So general feeling is that Nvidia would beat the estimate, but you never know, because they're such a big company. They had some China issues, and then uh, there was uh, some issue where they were restricted from selling some chips to China. But later Trump said now they can sell some chips to China. So I don't know how much that would have impacted them. But if they can continue to sustain their margins, and if they beat the estimate EPS, then probably they would do better, and the stock would probably pop.
Yep. Yeah, sounds great. So I think that finishes the roundup and what's going to happen or what factors going to affect the US and India markets. Yeah, I believe that the our friends or the viewers, enjoyed the this episode, and so if you did, then please go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of our future episodes. And most importantly, we want this to be a two-way street. So we want to know what's on your mind. So please leave a comment below and tell us what topics you want us to cover next. Do you want to add anything towards the end before the disclaimer?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if any of our viewers have any comments, feedback, thoughts, suggestion, just let us know. Write in the comment section, and we will try to respond to your queries. And thanks for watching. And hopefully, we can provide more content which is meaningful to everyone, and it helps us in our investment journey, and it helps viewers in their journey. That's our goal. Thank
Yep.
you, everyone.
Okay, so yeah, like I said in the beginning, both of us are not SEBI registered investment advisors, and the content shared in this or views shared in this video channel are for purely educational and entertainment purposes. So, and please do not consider this as an investment advice, and please consult your qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Thanks again. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.